And good Tuesday morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Welcome. I hope you're doing fine today. As we begin it out, do not forget that you need to take a jacket, umbrella. It's going to be a wet day. As we've been watching weather for the last hour, hour and a half, severe weather has been more around the New Orleans area here in the last little bit. And it's going to be drifting off to the east. And they are expecting some severe weather in southeastern Alabama. Lower Alabama will get some serious stuff today. We should get rain showers. But as we begin today, we'll watch the weather closely for you and let you know what all happens with it. Let's look at radar before we get into all of the news stories and just show you what's going on out there as we begin this. We'll have a complete weather detailed forecast here in just a moment. As we pull up radar, as you'll see here, Meridian, Lauderdale County, Kemper Light through Clarke. It's out to our west, a straight line almost down I-55, south of Jackson toward New Orleans. A tornado warning just expired a few moments ago. It was right here at Kenner to the west of downtown New Orleans. Right in this area right here is where we had a tornado warning that expired at 6:30, less than 60 seconds ago. Doesn't mean that the chance of severe weather has passed out of there. And expect these storms, as you'll see this right here on the edge of Mandeville, right there near Covington, Louisiana. This is all going to move northeasterly through Picayune and then into the edges of Alabama and make its way over here to make some severe weather in lower Alabama today. So we'll watch that and make sure everything is good for us as we look at a lot of fog. Tyler, Texas, if you're headed through Shreveport, Louisiana this morning, y'all be careful. It's a lot out there. We want to make sure that you're all good and everything as you pass through. That's how it is all looking this morning. Let's see here. Minimize that. As we begin the day, let's go back and talk about a few things that are going on. Number one, how are you? I hope good. We're at 58 right now as we head for a high of about 63. It's not going to be much changes in the temperature-wise. Just a wet day ahead of us. Expect this kind of to last throughout all day. It'll be wet before it's all said and done. Make sure the kids are dressed for school right. Well, let's see. Corinna Jones, how are you today? So Teresa Gerard, glad to see you're up today, along with Mike Dallas. So Kathy Spence is up. Good morning. From Decatur is where she's watching from. Also Donna Roseman. Good to see y'all as we say blessings that everyone has made it aboard this morning. All right, let's discuss a few things that have gone on in the area. The headline news, of course, this morning. Let's get into, first off, the largest meth bust that Clarke County has ever seen. If y'all heard about this, Clarke County was a busy site yesterday as we pull up this, as we go to our website. It's sammedia.network. Again, all of the headline stories are there. We'd love for you to go read these. As we get into this, nearly 10 pounds of meth was seized by Clarke County deputies. MBI, also Mississippi Bureau of Narcotics, served a search warrant there. 10 pounds, that is a whole lot. Almost 2,500 fake pills that we're going to get to the public were also seized. As they did in this, 2 arrests. Dewan Ali, 32 years old, and Brandon Yates, also 34, were arrested during this raid. Again, keeping these things off the streets are a must. Just bad. The arrests were made, and drugs, bad stuff there. But this was announced as it came out of Clarke County yesterday of what went on with that. As the evening would progress in Clarke County would be the topic of another subject, and that would be murder. Are y'all up to date on all of this? There is sad that someone would lose their life. We'll go to Clarke County Hot Topics to take a look at this. And this is the scene yesterday, or last night rather, a little after 9 o'clock, as things began to progress there. And as you'll see there, the deputies are there. At least 2 people fled the scene. They were arrested and taken into custody. Again, a female has lost her life in Clarke County. Shots rang out, and I think most everybody in town heard them. Cops were on the scene pretty quick there. Details will slowly come out about this. A sad situation there in Clarke for anyone to lose their life. But that is what we've got this morning. More details on that will come from Sheriff Todd Kemp as this investigation rolls forward. boy, it's just those are sad times that anything like this would happen. We see this more and more in our communities, and we'll tell you what we think the murders are up to in Jackson, Mississippi, our capital city, here in just a little while, as we look at things that are happening on around the state. As we look at a few things that happened in the Meridian area yesterday, and I smirked about this, and we'll talk about this a little bit further when we get into the morning show this morning. Gas prices are so high in our area that I've seen 2 to 3 different cases of criminals. Now get this, it's funny in one way, but not in another, but getting away on bicycles. I kid you not. We had a situation yesterday where one eluded police for a little over 30 minutes there, as he had done something he shouldn't have, and police were in hot pursuit, and he got on his bicycle and rode away. They did catch him. He was taken into custody a short while later. But boy, also we saw that earlier this week, last weekend, as the person, I wouldn't call it a getaway, but they are using bicycles as transportation of the fake money that was used at the cash saver, the counterfeit money. The person that used that rode away on a bicycle from the store. People are resorting to cheaper ways of getting around. You're going to see more of this on foot. There was a foot chase yesterday. Why? They're not using cars because they just can't afford gasoline these days as prices go up and up. So what does this tell you? We're going to start seeing, as we saw catalytic converters jumping through the roof, you're going to start seeing gas tanks emptied. And the latest thing with this is, instead of siphoning like the old days, y'all remember that, where they'd take a hose? Nowadays, they just take a drill and drill a small hole in your gas tank, put buckets under it. That is the latest. Those are expensive to fix also. So beware. Park, if you've got cameras, park your cars near where you can have cameras on these to watch them overnight. A serious matter, I kid you not. Things are just changing in our world. Criminals adapt to the way things are. I think y'all know that also. Julie Alphin, how are you today? Glad to see you joining the broadcast this morning. Also, Joyce Arrington, how are you, girl? Hadn't talked to you in a while. Hope you're feeling well there. Linda Accord is up. Also, Brian Troy, good to see you. Stephen Wanda McKinnon joins us. Linda Jane, hope everything's going well with Jerry. I saw that you had to take him to the hospital. One of our listeners there from Kemper County. I hope everything is good with your husband. I hope he's doing better there. He's in capable hands with you. I know you'll take care of him. As we look at a few things that are going on in and around the area, let's look at this. They had an event downtown yesterday. Did you get a chance to go to the Shamrock? A few pictures that were sent in to me from what was going on there. As we take a look at downtown Meridian there, some bands played. I even hear there was a leprechaun floating around the crowd. So that went on in downtown Meridian. Hope you had a chance to enjoy that. And there'll be a few other events coming up this weekend as we get ready for St. Patrick's Day. And that's where you got to wear green, isn't it? Or be pinched. It's something like that, the best I remember as a kid. But that is on the way. A few other things that are happening, I wanted to bring this up also. Are you ready for this? The Shriners, which they do so many good things for our community. If you can support them, and as they help children and many, many different folks that need help, they're going to have a chicken cooking this weekend. As we'll go to the Amasa Shriners chicken cooking. It'll be Saturday the 19th. That's going to be there in Marion. And for $10, you'll be able to get chicken leg quarters, dirty rice, mac and cheese, bread. You can call ahead and order. It'll be from 10 until 2 there in Marion at the Shriners. Hope you can drop in and support them. They're a great bunch of folks that really help our community. Always got along real well with them. Also, before long, it'll be April, and the folks out at Long Creek need your help, as they'll put out what they need. Pancake breakfast headed your way Saturday, April the 2nd. It's going to be from 7 until 11 there at the Firehouse at Long Creek. And, of course, they need a lot of supplies. It takes a bunch to keep these volunteer fire departments rolling. If you could help them out, it's located out on Zero Road. A little time before then. That's in April, but we thought we'd start pushing that. Again, you can find that and many more stories there on SouthernAmericanMedia.network. As we go to some of the stories that are floating around the area, as we mentioned, the meth bust that happened down there in Clarke County, also gas tax. As we look at this, they are proposing that we possibly get a break in this from the state of Mississippi. State of Mississippi charges an additional 18 cents tax on gas, and they're proposing that this be put on hold for 6 months. Now, gas at nearly $4 and $5 a gallon, I guess 18 cents does count, but it's got to be a break somewhere. We need some leadership all the way to the top to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. We certainly hope we get it. And we'll talk about loggers, the industry. What do you do for a living? Do you travel? Do you drive for your living? It's taking an impact on everybody. We'll talk about that and more coming up. Don't rush off. We've got more to tell you this morning as we begin your day here, the Scotty Ray Report. The back porch of Meridian, located on Highway 19 North, invites you by to take a look at their custom-made woodworking, from wooden tables, chairs, swings, and day beds. Take a step inside and visit the local meat section, where you'll find ground beef, pork chops, and even local milk from Beeson Farms. And if you need a utility trailer, they offer single, tandem, car haulers, enclosed trailers. You name it, they have it. Ask about financing. It's all at the back porch of Meridian, 5570 Highway 19 North.
Sanders Gas, Sanders Air and Heat is your full-service propane supplier since 1946. We take pride in ensuring reliable, friendly service to our customers. We also provide safety tune-ups related to propane, air conditioning, and heating systems, keeping our community efficient and safe. I'm Chuck Sanders, and yes, we're local.
So what was the last time that you filled up? How much did it cost you? It cost me $108 the other day for something that at one point was costing me at most $45. It takes an effect on every single Mississippian, Alabamian, and American. And no matter where you're watching me from this morning, it is affecting you, especially people that deliver products. And you get this from the 18-wheelers on down. But Hoseman is, as we mentioned, they're proposing that they do away with the gas tax. The logging industry, have y'all read about all of this? They're just about to where the loggers just can't afford it. That's all they do is every piece of equipment they've got runs off of this, from the equipment in the woods to the 18-wheelers hauling it out of the woods. It's just gotten about to the point to where they can't afford to keep operating. Logging businesses are having to shut down until things maybe calm down. Driving the prices wild. How many loggers I got watching this morning? Y'all tell me. As you head to these mills and things, it costs a lot to fill up. Who was it? I saw the other day a friend of mine filled up his log truck. I think it was right at $800, $800 to fill up his rig. Of course, that's what he does for a living. It hauls those logs. You can't keep affording to go like this. We need help. And there's without a doubt. As I mentioned, Jackson, Mississippi. Now, last Wednesday, and I missed the count because there had to be more. From Wednesday to Saturday on the weekend, kind of lost track of who got shot and what. But as of this morning, the total is, and that's not counting those few days there that I missed, I've got to dig back into this. There have been 26 murders that I know of so far in the capital of Mississippi. 26 people killed. That's a lot of people. Now, Meridian has had one since January, but Jackson sitting at 26 plus, possibly a couple of more in there that I missed in between those couple of days that I wasn't paying attention. That is a lot of people to lose their lives in one city. Mississippi on top of this. What are we going to do? We certainly hope, as we add to that, two of these people that were killed on Forest Avenue in Jackson, one found in a car and one laid on the street. It's just getting too all familiar in Jackson, Mississippi. Folks get to where they just, well, y'all know how this works. When crime gets so high, you finally go, I'm not going there. I don't really need it that much. It affects everything in a city. Crime has got to be dealt with. The state of Mississippi needs to step up in this before it gets out of hand. See this from all parts of the county, from county, city, all over the state. We do hope it is curbed. More law enforcement is the thing. You don't need to back off during something like this. Stand strong. Support your law enforcement there. Tate Reeves yesterday, if you've seen this already, signed into law the ban on critical race theory. It's a good thing. I think most people agree with that this doesn't need to be taught in schools, especially in the state of Mississippi, that now is a law. There's a few other states following. We'll see how many, and we'll keep up with that. Starkville, Mississippi. How many folks here have kids that go to state? I bet it's a lot. Or you have grandkids that go there. Moving forward, and this will take effect today, the next time you're visiting the city of Starkville, you'll start having to pay. And this is the first time I've heard of this, but I guess it's technology as it moves forward. They're adding parking meters to a large portion of Starkville to where you'll pay pay to park, like the old meters. I mean, where you drop a quarter in. Well, this is getting to where you can pay with an app. I kid you not. Technology is moving forward. You can get it from the App Store. It's moving on up, as the Jeffersons used to say. But expect that, and this area is going to be on University Drive to Montgomery Street to the Mississippi State campus there. Next time you park, you'll pay. Now, I don't know what it costs. It used to be, quarter? I haven't parked in a while to where I needed to drop a quarter in. But that is the way of the future, and it is happening. A murder suspect, Clarke County, Mississippi, got away for a little bit. And I guess if you were going to jail and you knew there was no chance of getting out, that you would take the risk of darting out the door when given a chance. And that happened. A murder suspect was being booked into the Clarke County jail when an open door was there, and he ran for it. He only made it for 30 minutes. Problem is that 30 minutes now will cost him years. They'll add to his sentence felony fleeing jail escape. That'll be a few more years once he faces the judge. Boy, I say that a lot. Boy, that's my word this morning. This is bad, and we have to give kudos to the electrical worker that saved this gentleman. UPS drivers, and I've seen it. My dog Sophie stands about yay high, and I guess to look at her, you'd be scared. People will pull up that don't know us and won't get out. Pit bulls. We read this every day. Somewhere in the United States, whether it's a 2-year-old, somebody elderly is attacked by a pit bull, especially when there's 2 or more. But it happened to a UPS driver on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. He got out to deliver a package and was seriously injured. He was attacked by pit bulls. What saved him? An electrical driver was passing by and saw it happen. He jumped out of his truck, ran over, and pulled the dogs off. I don't know what he used to get them off, but he saved the man's life. Our thoughts with him. Pit bulls are dangerous, and I don't know the answer for that. I've seen, you know what happens. Y'all have seen the headlines as well as I have. 2 or more can be very dangerous. 1 can be bad. Always watch your small children around this, as that shows there a full-grown man attacked. And how could a child be protected against it? Watch it. Handle it. As we go back to Jackson, Mississippi, we talked about this. It happened over the weekend where a lady, you've heard of the Clarion Ledger newspaper, I reported this yesterday morning, where a lady ran into the building at the Clarion Ledger. It was a wreck. We now found out the person that died was a 7-year-old passenger in the car. Poor Ken. And the woman's been charged with a DUI. And smack dab into the building, and a child lost his life in Jackson, Mississippi. That is not something that any of us wanted to hear this morning, is it? It's not. Tate signs this into law, and y'all correct me. I just don't know of anywhere in our area recycling. Of course, aluminum cans, I think we've all heard of that. You always see someone picking up aluminum cans on the side of the road. It's a little great way, extra cash, especially if you're retired. You want a little extra money. You clean up the areas that you're at, and you pick up aluminum cans. But Mississippi passes a new law to support advanced recycling of plastic. But I honestly don't know of, and it may be going on, and I'm just not aware of it. Is there a lot of recycling of plastic bottles in our area where you can go sell them and things like that? Or is it just where you separate it? It's like in the county, I know that there's not an extra garbage can for any plastic that you have for a truck that comes through. I've never seen that. I think years ago that used to be in the city with different little hand baskets. But is Mississippi moving forward? It may be. I have not heard of this. But a new law going into effect that would support advancing recycling of plastics. I know that it's a problem, especially beaches. Y'all see this floating around the oceans. And it litters our highways. Plastic, there's a lot of things made out of it. And if they start doing that, paying it, it would clean up. As we move across the state line, do you remember yesterday morning where we talked about a 2-year-old and a gentleman was killed in Tuscaloosa? They've made an arrest. A 19-year-old is being arrested and charged with the murder of those 2 people. A 2-year-old. A drive-by is what it was. This is, we look at this, flying out of Huntsville, Alabama. You don't typically see this in the South of people going irate. But it did happen. A flight out of Huntsville headed to Wichita, Kansas, had to be diverted because a woman, well, it's the same story. Didn't want to wear a mask. She got unruly, and they had to make an emergency landing. She disrupted the flight and was promptly arrested. No word yet if she was officially from Alabama or if she was just passing through on the flight and got irate, but nonetheless, they had to stop that. As we talk about airplanes, this is even sadder. As we go down to Alabama, there was a plane crash. Maybe you've heard about this, Opelika area there, as a pilot was killed. His dog lived. It was a single plane. He was owned his own airplane, and he crashed, and his puppy dog made it away. Bay Minette. Take that back. It wasn't Opelika. It was Bay Minette, Alabama, is where that plane crash happened. Condolences to his family. The dog walks away. That's a few of the stories that are happening across Mississippi and Alabama. We keep seeing this, and watch this. I'm not sure this happens in our area a whole lot, but maybe some, to where dating apps and things of this nature. It was one of these that a woman in New York City lured a man to her apartment on a date. After she got there, she held him captive. And this is where it really goes bad. She held him for ransom, tied him up, tortured him, nearly killed him, and then did a Facebook Live with someone that was kin to him and demanded a ransom. Family members were able to get in touch with the cops. He was clinging to life by the time they got there. She was demanding $100,000. She held him for 24 hours. Watch who you go out with. Make sure you know them. Remember that old saying of make sure you know somebody who knows somebody? That would probably be the best way to do that. But I'm sure New York City, it's not like our areas to where you know everybody. Idaho is the next state in the nation to pass a law that kind of mimics what goes on in Texas with the abortion. They're adopting the same thing. I say kudos to them for saving a life. I know there's a group that don't agree with me on abortion, but it is life. I believe in saving life. We say protect those that are living. That's an unborn child as someone living. Y'all all know that as well as I do. Support them. Certainly do. We've got more coming up. Don't rush off. We'll tell you about what's going on with the weather next here at Scotty Ray's Weather.
Patrick Allen Companies services and repairs all brands of overhead doors, residential and commercial. Our service technicians are factory trained and have over 125 years of combined experiences. At Patrick Allen Companies, we are not interested in being the biggest, just the best. At Patrick Allen Companies, our philosophy is simple. We want to give you more than you expect. We are just 4 miles south of Meridian on Highway 145. Patrick Allen Companies, safety, service, and satisfaction.
Rock House Gun and Pawn is open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. Lots of different calibers and brands to choose from when it comes to hunting rifles. Whether you're looking for a new pump shotgun or an AR, the Rock House will have the gun that you need, with a huge selection of ammunition for just about any caliber that you may be looking for. Pistols, scopes, and a whole lot more. Plus a private lobby for your confidentiality when it comes to your pawns. Rock House Gun and Pawn, located at 5430 Highway 19 North Meridian.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
As we begin our forecast this morning, 1982 was a hot day for us here in Meridian, Mississippi. 88 degrees is what it was. There was 82, and then in 88, we had 20 degrees for a cold day on this. We're nowhere near that this morning. We're sitting at 58 as you're waking up, beginning your day with light rain. As we look at the forecast across the area, 63 for Meridian as you get to 62 in Philadelphia. And by the time you go up Highway 15 and you make your way all the way up toward Louisville as you head toward Mississippi State, those areas, look for about 61. And between Louisville and Mississippi State, Columbus will see 61. To the south, about 10 degrees warmer. 71 in Hattiesburg, Brookhaven, 72, and over at the bridge, about 69 right there in Vicksburg across the state. As we look at Alabama, 64 in Demopolis. We'll see 63 degrees in Livingston and all the way up through Geiger. And down south, 65 in Troy. And this is the area east over here, Auburn, these areas that could see some severe weather today in Alabama. Y'all keep that intact. Remember that as we look at that. There's the outlook for some level 1 weather across there. We've seen some serious weather happening around New Orleans this morning. Quarter-size hail possible there in portions of Alabama this afternoon. That'll be from 1 in the afternoon until about 8. if you're in those areas watching this morning. As we fire this up, when we look at the temperatures, here we go, 6 to 10. We're going to be warmer for the next 6 to 10 days. We got some normal temperatures coming out here. As we cut across, let's go ahead and look at this outlook here to where we'll go to that advanced look here in a moment, and you'll be able to see to where it's going to be extremely warm. As we've got a 100% chance of showers today. That's going to happen. Our high is going to be around 63, but it's going to be very, very gusty with this. 25-mile-an-hour gust is what we'll get. You can pretty much expect showers at some point for most of the day. As we move into tonight, it will cut in half, about a 50% chance of showers. That should end around 4 a.m., right around there with a low around 53. By tomorrow, 20% chance of showers there, and that will end by 1 o'clock and then making way for some clouds in the afternoon. Maybe some sunshine late there with a high near 70 late in the afternoon tomorrow. All that'll be after lunch. That rain moves out. Some sprinkles there and getting better. 76 for Thursday. Look at that sunshine and 76. And by Friday, the rain is back. We'll get a high of about 73. Great temperatures there, but a 60% chance of showers there for Friday. And as the weekend progresses, it's going to be great weather. 69 Saturday and 74 on Sunday. Nothing to complain about there. So perfect weather for whatever's going on. That'll be great for the Shriners as they sell the chicken there in Marion. As we look across, this will be those temps through the 29th. We'll see mostly mid-70s there. Nothing wrong with that. That's kind of warm there on the 22nd, 77. And then as we get toward the end of the month, it'll warm back up. So a lot of temperatures. It's going to stay above this freezing weather that we've had lately, which is absolutely good. No complaints there. What's the fishing going to do? Let's find out for today as we go to Chet's Paint and Body and take a look at this. Our best times to fish today will be around 11 o'clock this morning till 1:30 in the afternoon. A midday fish is what we've got for the major times there. As we'll get to the afternoon there. Always fun to be fishing, but your best time is going to be there around 11 o'clock kicking off that. Now let's go over to radar and take a look now and see just what we've got with the radar this morning of where the rain is. As we pull this back up, as we mentioned earlier, we've had some severe weather down here. We got some thunderstorm warnings around the New Orleans area, just east of there, right along in here. Thunderstorm warnings, a marine warning there, and a thunderstorm warning over here. As we move up towards Slidell, look at that. Showers all through this area here. Again, right along here, west of here earlier this morning, tornado warnings. None of that now. As we look at this, we got some marine warnings coming into the Gulfport area there. As we move up through Hattiesburg, heavy rain around Hattiesburg. If you're going to be traveling 55 out of Meridian, look at that. You'll see that. And due south of Jackson on I-55, it's heavy rain. Now, west of Meridian, if you're going to be traveling, let's turn on locations where you can see exactly where this rain is. As you travel west out of Meridian, you'll get right over here, right on the outskirts of Newton in the Lawrence area. When you get to these welcome centers, heavy rain in those areas there. As we move down, Pachuta, look at that. Y'all got a good shower occurring there, making its way toward Clarke County, downtown Quitman. Y'all will get y'all's rain here a little bit in Clarko State Park. We've got it around Montrose if you're headed into Newton, Highway 15 up in those areas there. As you look at Lauderdale County there, light showers. Nothing serious at all going on in the county. Over to York and Livingston. Southern Kemper County, light rain this morning. What does that tell us? Be careful. Streets are extremely wet during times like this, and you brake, slide, and lock up. We know how that works, and we don't want any wrecks happening this morning. We want you safe, no matter where you're going. That's a brief look at our weather and headlines of what's going on this morning around the area. I'm going to be back in about an hour. Candace will be here. She'll bring a smile. We hope you'll join us, and we'll tell you more about what's going on in the nation. We'll dab a little more into our local news and tell you what happens around here. And as always, we like your input there. Good morning, Joe Gully. Glad to see you there. Linda Culpepper joining us. LaWanda Grantham, good morning. As always, good to see each and every one of y'all. Thank you for joining the Scotty Ray Report as we tell you things that happen in and around the area overnight, no matter when it is. We do appreciate you. Again, I'll be back in about an hour as we'll kick into the morning show. You can join us live here. Make sure to go to YouTube. Subscribe there. It's a great way to have a good, clear channel. And it's always a great way to have a backup. Folks get locked out of their accounts and get put in jail. You're going to have another way to watch us. We'll post again how you can do that and sign up for it on YouTube as well. We appreciate it, and we'll see you soon here at the Scotty Ray Report.
Scotty Ray's weather is brought to you by our following partners: